Oh, I am Melly, or I'm over on Instagram at Melly-Mini Vertical, and I'm going to allow Jessica here to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her work.
Hi, I'm Jessica Lang. I am an actor. I have been doing lots of vertical work for the last 2 years now. So that's where I've kind of found a little bit of a niche here. I do both the like leading girl parts and then more supporting though. I've been getting a lot of the villain girl. And can you still hear me? Good. Okay, and yeah, that's a little bit about me. I mean, I went to college for acting, and I moved out here about 3 years ago, and this has just been my life for the past 2 years or so.
Thank you, and
Yes,
thank you for this interview. I want to thank you so much. I appreciate
absolutely.
this.
Of course.
I'm going to go to the next question. Something fun we should know about you, either personally or acting.
Okay. I used to be an Irish dancer. I Irish danced for like 6 years. I did competitions, and that was so different to me when I was little because no one else did it. So it was me and my sister, and we even went to Ireland doing it in the St. Patrick's Day parade in Cork. So that was super fun. I think that's always a fun fact I like to throw out there.
Girl, that's impressive. I've
It was
seen
fun.
them up live
Oh
in
yeah.
personal. The dances that you guys have to do are insane to me.
Yeah.
Like, it's impressive.
It's insane. And once you get to like a high level in it, which I was never there, but like, whoa, the control that you need to have. And when my teacher would always say, this was kind of her thing during our St. Patrick's Day parade stuff, she would say, we have a fiberglass tip and heel on our hard shoes. So, like a tap shoe has a space between the tap and the shoe, of course. That's where the sound reverberates, and you can create, it's easier to create sounds. When you have a full fiberglass touching the shoe, every sound that you have to make has to be 100% accurate. Otherwise, you will not be on time. So you have to hit your foot exactly at that moment. And it's crazy. It's just crazy how like they have to be so strong too. Those shoes are heavy. And then soft shoe is like the balance of this strict like the tightness of your upper body and the fluidity of the legs is like this weird thing. You don't get to move your arms. It's crazy. Crazy.
It is, and it's impressive
Yeah.
as heck. I'm so impressed.
Thank
What
you.
is a skill you've always wanted to learn?
Let's see. Ice skating. Especially with the Winter Olympics going on, I'm like, I want to do that so badly. I want to be floating and I want to be like in the spins in the air, but that's just insane. I don't know how they do it. It's crazy. Like it's the same thing as Irish dance. Like once you get to that level, I'm like done.
hmm I was obsessed with figure skating as a little girl. Like,
Oh
that was
yeah.
my thing. Like, there were so many Michelle Kwan, Scott. I can't think of his last name, but there were so many. And I was literally obsessed with that. And watching figure skating now, I'm like, I can't skate for the life of me. I have no balance whatsoever. But it is awesome to see other people do that.
Yes. And Alyssa Lou, she's performing. I was like, what? She's like 21 too. I'm like, oh my God, girl. She's
hmm
incredible. It's insane. I saw someone do, I saw a video of her, I think it was her doing a spin not on the ice just to do the triple or the quadruple. I was like, how do you turn that fast? Like that's insane. How are you turning like that?
My favorite one, which a lot of people are talking about because I think her name was Syria Bobia. In the 90s, she got in trouble for this, but she did a backflip on the ice.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, and she was so good for it. And now they're doing it again, and I'm just like, oh, so much has changed over time. It's insane. The stuff that would be bad for us when we were kids, it's just like people are just going out there and doing it now. It's like, oh, okay, that's okay.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And I think they got rid of it because I think it was causing like people to get really, really injured because
Hmm.
only she could really do it well. And then people try it and they get really hurt. And I can't believe it's just this athleticism, like the level of athleticism now in the games is almost inhuman.
So what happened with her is it was already banned at that point because
Oh, was it?
but you have to do it a certain way because if you do it the wrong way, you can cut yourself right here. And that's what they were trying to avoid.
Right.
And so when she did it, she did a banned move. But it's like now it's like not even a big deal anymore. And I'm just like that move, like they made a big deal out of her doing it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it was a tantrum level temple like thing
Oh,
because I remember it. I was like present when that like I was watching ice skating when that happened.
oh my
And
God.
so it's insane like the stuff that people dial back on now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, what movie could you watch every day?
Pride and Prejudice 2005, Keira Knightley. Matthew
Oh my
McFadden.
god, I love that movie.
I just put on my Instagram notes yesterday because I was literally, because I recited the line. He says, I love you, and I never wish to be parted from this day forward. I literally started crying. I was like, that is the most perfect movie ever. Joe Wright, director. I don't remember the cinematographer's name, but they did incredible work on every movie that they do, though. He also did Anna Karenina, I think, and then he did Atonement. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. They're just incredible. I think, but Pride and Prejudice, like, it's a perfect movie in my eyes.
Pride and Prejudice with Matthew McFadden and Keira Knightley. Definitely. I his name is not Matthew. His middle name's Matthew. I think it's Daniel
Oh, is it
McFadden.
really Daniel?
Yeah. And then 1995 Little Women with Winona Ryder and the
I've
rest of
never
them.
seen it.
Oh, you have to watch it.
I have to
It's
watch it.
my it's my favorite version of Little Women, although the modern day one is good as well. But I love that one with Winona Ryder. So good.
Oh my
So good.
God. Nice.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
So, my dad is a doctor, my mom's a nurse. And when I was little, I think I was in first grade. I was homeschooled actually when I was younger. So, like, I was in first grade and I had to write what I wanted to be when I grew up. And it was an actor, was the first thing, or a nurse like my mom. So, those were like the things I was thinking when I was, 6 or 7 years old. So, I always really wanted to do what I'm doing now, which is kind of crazy that I'm doing it. But otherwise, it would have been a doctor. And then I got big into, I was watching, what is it called? Real life in the ER, like trauma. You know those like early Discovery Channel like trauma shows? I
Hmm.
was obsessed with those shows. So Trauma Life in the ER, that's what it's called. I wanted to be a trauma surgeon. I was like, I could do it. And then I said, oh, that's really hard actually. So, I don't know if I have the stamina for that. But yeah, so I think actor, I would say my final answer.
Yeah, I it's so funny because my grandmother was a nurse, my
Was
dad's
she?
mom. Yeah, and I wanted to be a nurse so bad. And then around somewhere around the age of 17, 18, I cut
Yeah,
myself and I looked at the blood and almost passed out. And then I
yeah.
was like, oh, yep, no, I can't do it no more.
Not that. Yeah.
And it's so ironic because my godmother, my aunt, is also was a nurse for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how do you stand watching your own blood? I mean, not seeing your own, like seeing blood in real life
Right.
versus blood on TV, because like I can watch it on YouTube, I can watch medical videos and stuff.
Right.
But when I see it in real life, I'm like, whew, nope. And she's like, it's just something, it's just a difference. It's because you're closer or something like that. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah, it's like something because you've seen it versus actually being
Yeah.
there, you know. It's just weird.
I think also it's that feeling that when medical professionals they're wanting to help, so like you kind of get over some of your uncomfortability because you just are so dedicated to helping people. You're like, someone's got to do it, so they step in. But yeah, I can watch it online too, or like on shows, TV, because I know it's fake, and it's like, but I guess when I see it in real life, I like panic or I laugh. I'm really bad with like in like upsetting situations. I laugh as like a defense mechanism, and I think I would be. That's not a good thing to be as a nurse or a doctor to be like, ah, that's funny. No, you can't do that. So.
Yeah. My defense mechanisms is just like so different because I was talking about to somebody about this. I was like,
Yeah.
you like I was talking to you about my autism thing, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's one way people see me so differently. It's because I'm up here trying to explain and give facts,
Uh-huh.
and people are like, you're defending yourself. You're going on the defense. I'm not.
Mm.
I'm not. So
Yeah.
it's just so funny how like people perceive this imagery
Yeah.
of you. And I'm just like, trust me,
Absolutely.
if I was defending myself, I'd be a lot angrier and a lot meaner than
Yeah. Right. Right.
if somebody was going to make your life into a vertical, who would star in it?
My life? Oh my gosh. I never even thought about my life as, I don't think my life is noteworthy enough to be like interesting enough to be a movie or a vertical or anything like that. I don't know. I mean, you have to throw a lot of drama in there. Um, I don't have a good answer. I have no idea. Like I guess I'm not like I don't even know what it would be like. So like I don't even know who I would cast as myself because like what would that turn out to be? Like what would the story be, you know? Like I don't know.
Yeah. My
Gosh, I'm
life
sorry, I don't have an answer.
my life could definitely be a vertical. I've been
Yeah.
through so much trauma
Yeah, yeah, you have.
that my life could definitely make a good vertical, and
Mhm.
people would be like, oh, this is make believe, nobody
You'd be like,
goes
this
through
is you
this.
can't write this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you want to hear some stories? Like, I think that's the thing that one thing people don't get about me personally is that I do have that trauma, like past. And
Yeah.
so, as much as I've tried to heal from it, the minute I recognize it again, I'm out the door. I'm
Yeah. No, it makes sense. I mean, you don't want to re-traumatize yourself.
yep. What was your first performance?
I was in a play called Jake's Women by Neil Simon, and I played little Molly. She was a flashback character of the daughter. Like so, it was a flashback young version of the daughter of the main guy, Jake, because it's Jake's Women. So it's a story about all the women involved in his life. And I was 9 years old, and it was my community theater on Marco Island, Florida. Yeah, it was my first little thing. I had to crawl through a little hole because it was like, oh, you have to get into it. She just appears, so I had to crawl through a little trap door, and I had to be. They were like, "Be very quiet." I was like, "Okay," and I crawled through the door and opened. I said, and I said my lines. So cute behind the couch, and I pop up. That was my first
Um,
role.
I love that. I love that question because I think my first performance role, because, school, they make you do stuff like that,
Yeah, of course.
was Stone Soup. And I was the
Awesome.
little, it's an old story
Yeah.
that a lot of us in school had. It's called
Okay.
Stone Soup. And it's a story about people, like this guy starts to make soup because nobody wants to feed him, essentially.
Hmm.
And then he's like, oh, I'm going to make delicious soup out of this stone and all of this. And so he's like, I wish I had some carrots. I wish I had some celery. I wish I had this. I wish I had this. And then so the townspeople start bringing all of this stuff and throwing it in there.
Yeah.
And then every time they do, he picks up the spoon and is like, oh, this tastes better. Oh, this like, and teaches them essentially how to make stone soup. But actually, he kind of tricked them into making the soup.
Oh.
So I was the little taste tester. I would go up, pick up the spoon, and then
That
put
is
it
so
down.
cute. Oh my gosh. That is too cute.
Yeah, and it's a very like it's like often um I don't know about the rest of the country, but like it's a very Midwest story. Like anybody who's went to school in the Midwest
Yeah.
generally knows that story. But yeah, it's something it's a play that the teachers use that like was very big
That's
back then.
cute. It's
Mhm.
sort of ringing a bell, but I don't think I ever did anything with it, you know.
What techniques do you use to get into a role?
For for verticals, in particular, so I go to the Ivana Chubbuck school, or I haven't been for like a couple months because I've been very busy, but that's the technique that I started doing when I came to LA. So that technique is mostly about what's your scene objective for the story, and how it fits into your like character's identity. So you figure out what your character is, like what description they've provided for your character. And then you go in each scene with that in mind, and also the dialogue plays out. You find your scene objective, and you just play that through the the scene. So like it's not like a getting into character, because I feel like with verticals there's not super layers to the story. Like they're pretty much like what you get is right in front of you. So
Mhm.
you don't want to be playing too many like complex things in your head, because it just confuses the storyline. It also confuses you. It confuses the audience. So you just kind of want to play like, and especially with the villain characters that I get, like the motive is usually to bring down the girl or bring down the guy, and some sort of motive to manipulate to gain power is usually like how I play those parts. But if like it's a play or something like a bigger project that you need a little bit more layers to it to like make it make sense, then what I'll do is more script analysis work with really defining who my character is, and therefore when I'm in the scenes, then I can give myself the freedom to make these different choices that will elevate the scene, and then that gets me more into character. But it's mostly with that script stuff, so I'm not like I know some people like listen to music or stuff like that, so certain roles I'll do that, but I think really what matters is the script and how I'm understanding the lines and how I'm understanding the character based on the words. That's what my process is a little bit.
So I know that you played leads. Of course, one of my favorite roles that you have ever
Yeah.
done is your lead role, the one you did with Mark.
Hmm.
And then I know that like you do a lot of villain roles, and
Yeah.
like you said, verticals are very straightforward.
Yeah.
like people are like um it's so weird how some of it's so secretive, and then I'm just like, oh, but we all know how verticals are. Like we know the
I
process, we
know.
know this, So how different is it for you to play a lead, like the good girl,
Mhm.
versus the villain?
Um, I think on the practical side, especially even being in the villain roles and seeing how the leads are treated on set, or like even when I was there, they're much more specific. They need you to do things on the note. Like it needs to be an exact way to do it. And I don't usually get that as like a villain character. You can kind of just do whatever you want, because you're not the main money bringing in thing. Like they're not focused on that as much. So when I'm playing the villain character, I get to have more fun, like mess around, because it really is not that imperative to them, and it kind of just makes it more fun and stuff. But then versus the lead girl, you have to just be really specific about things. Sometimes I've seen, I didn't have this experience on any of the leads I've done, but there were experiences where they wanted me to do something specific. But I was just on one recently that they wanted the girl to like, okay, we need to cry. You need to cry one tear right here. And she's like, okay, give me a second. like so minute detail because they want it to like present a certain way. And I think that's the big difference between verticals and any other form of acting, is that it needs to like present a very specific way, and it kind of takes out the like love of the game kind of thing, because you need to do this specific thing. And I think there's absolutely some people, and certain productions are different, so certain productions allow you to have more fun and explore things, and it just really depends on who's the director, who's the producer, all of that. And so on those productions, then even in a vertical, you can play more as the lead. But yeah, I think that's the big difference. Like there's a bit of more micromanagement in the lead department versus in the villain. So my experience is I do have like, sometimes I have more fun doing the villain part because you're not like micromanaged as much. Um, but I think that the lead parts are also rewarding in that you don't get dragged out at the end of the show. And getting dragged out at the end of the show every time I ever perform is like, oh, okay. And you know it's acting, and of course, but you're like, after a while, I'm like, I don't really want the bodyguards to drag me out this time. And that's nice about doing like a lead part. You don't usually have that happen.
So as a villain, is it tougher during those showdown banquet scenes than like the rest of it where you're just like running around like,
Well,
oh,
yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
The villains have a lot of heavy lifting in those scenes. They drive the story. If you don't have the villain like saying all those lines and going, then you're not gonna have a story really move, because it's like you need someone to denigrate the girl, the main girl, otherwise she can't rise above it, right? So in those banquet scenes, it's a lot of dialogue usually for the villain parts. So like, and there's a lot of standing, and there's your back's hurting because you're in the heels all day, and they usually put me in these like stilettos. I love the stilettos, so like I'm fine with it, but after like 4 or 5 hours in them, I'm like, okay, time to take them off. So that, yeah, it does get a little bit tough in that sense, because the costumes are a little bit more like the shorter skirts and the lower necklines and the heels and the hair and the makeup, like you're all done up, and you have to be done up for 12 hours, and then you have to recite all of these lines. And I don't like banquet scenes just because I don't think that they're interesting. I think that like we could get to the point in a, like 1, 2 pages of dialogue for the entire scene. Like if we're gonna have a banquet scene be that long, like let's make it a little bit more interesting. Um, and I just have done so many of them. Maybe that's why I'm like jaded a little bit with them. And maybe as like a new audience member, you're seeing them, you're like, oh my gosh, someone who's coming in, and maybe that's interesting, but it's kind of the same thing every time. So yeah, it's hard in the heels, and it's hard saying all the words all the time and being like the person in that scene to be leading it.
Okay, so what I as a watcher of verticals the okay, so one thing is like with the stilettos you were saying, it's so weird because I'm like if platforms were still like in fashion right now, like stiletto platforms are much more comfortable than just
Yeah,
what they stick you guys in. And then the other thing is that when I watch these banquet showdowns, I'm just like, I can mimic these. I could parry these with how much alike they are. And I'm like, you can't change up the lines. You can't like add a little bit more to this. Like, if you want to do a showdown, like, and you're going to make it dramatic anyways, because
yeah,
most of these vertical companies are about the theatrics, the dramatics, you could definitely like change it up. I think
yeah.
it's there's certain things with like I love certain showdowns where you guys have food involved, and I
Okay.
have yet to see one where it's like all out throughout like just throwing food at each other.
That would be funny. That'd be funny. I think some of these are just so funny.
Yeah, because I'm like you could so have like a oh what's his name, the comedian, I can't think of his name now, it was just on, but he played Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, yeah.
And when he dipped his face in the cake and he had the full mask, I'm just like, that could be a vertical scenario.
Moment, yep.
Yes. it's just things you think about and you're like, oh, this could be in a vertical, this could be in a vertical. And I'm just like, somebody hire me. I got so many good
You have so many
ideas.
ideas, and you watch enough of them to be like, you know what's good and bad. You know what works, what
Yes.
doesn't work. Yeah.
Yes. And then I'm just like, and like they want to make it theatric and dramatic, but they really go for the toxic aspect of it.
No.
When you could pull back, dial back, and make it theatric and dramatic with comedy. And then it would be just so much more funnier.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
What do you think makes a performance most believable?
Hmm. In general, okay. I think really understanding who the character is based on the script that you get, and then having like little tension in the body so that if you do add on little pieces of tension, like that's because of the circumstances of the scene. And also being super, super specific about what the character's doing in the time, what they're thinking. Like if there's a lot of specificity in a scene, then it's most likely going to be very believable because that's a person. You've created a person now because every person walks around with very specific thoughts and thought patterns and movements and all of that. So if you're able to replicate that in a character, then and stuff that's actually you could even do crazy things, but that could still be a person that exists. But if you're specific about it and not like, oh, maybe they do, no, they do this, 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 then you can really create anyone you want, and that's so believable.
Yes. So, how was it like? Okay, so my favorite, my favorite role is the one you did with Mark.
Yes,
The dance, there's a scene where you have to like practice dancing.
yes.
So, is that a little bit more different compared to like things like villain wise, or was that first of all was that fun?
Yeah,
Two, how well does that translate with your co-star? Like, does it work really? Like, are you guys on the same team? Do you guys come up with ideas on how to translate that scene? Or and then three, how is that different from being a villain with a
yeah.
co-star?
Sure. With Mark and I, we had to work together on that scene because they didn't give us any direction. In most of that show, we were given really no direction. So we had to just figure it out. So for that scene, I was like, I'm just going to start to try to dance. And then we had to feel like the chemistry in the moment of how we were going to work through the scene, knowing that my character can't dance, your character can a little bit. How are we going to navigate that push and pull here? And that was how we played there. So that was fun because you're able to work with your scene partner. With villain characters, even though you get more time to do stuff, you don't build a chemistry with your partners as much. I think across the board you don't spend as much time with them. But if you do, and if you do build a little bit of chemistry, it usually doesn't serve the character because the characters usually are very one like they're very selfish. So even if I'm like, oh, there's could be some sort of chemistry here that maybe could be interesting, you don't want to really play on that because it distracts from the point that there need to be a selfish character. So that's the big difference. With the lead characters, you want the chemistry and you want to be able to find that flow back and forth. And the last like two villains I did, are not out yet, but like I did one with Tim Stein and then one with his name's Roman. I forget his last name, but both of those we like had to find we were always together like in every scene, so we had to find like a little bit of chemistry back and forth. But both my characters in those were so selfish and manipulative, and both of them, the director specifically said, we don't want any relationship between you two, like we don't in relationship in terms of like a sexual relationship. Sometimes I like to play that, and a lot of these scripts are that way, that the lead girl, or sorry, the villain character wants to take the man, which I think is kind of annoying because I'm like, not all women are like that. Like, not all women need to be pitted against each other. We don't operate like that in real life, but it's interesting, I guess. Um, so I kind of want, I like to put in there like, maybe she likes him and maybe she's jealous of the main girl because she has got a guy that she wants. But they were like, don't do that. I was like, okay. So then at that point, I'm like, what chemistry could we even have besides being like co-conspirators? That's kind of how you play with the villains. They're just usually co-conspirators with you versus when you're lead, there has to be some sort of chemistry. There has to be something to draw you in. And that's more fun because you get to play with that a little bit. Yeah.
So, as a villain, do you get to play a little bit? And I don't know if chemistry is the right word here, but do you get to play a little bit with the chemistry with the female lead? Because you guys are usually
Yeah.
thrown together more.
Usually I
And
become like besties on set with the female lead. And we're like, oh my gosh, girl. And then we're like, mean now. Mean. And we start that. So I guess, oh, you didn't finish. So I'm sorry. I interrupted.
no, I was just thinking about this because I was thinking about your Mile High one that you did with Kiki and Hannah.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, that's my thought process.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I just think with any villain, like yeah, I liked being friendly with everyone. I like
Mhm.
knowing a little bit about everyone, and I think that helps. Like when we're in a scene, you don't feel uncomfortable giving eye contact, or you don't, or maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not uncomfortable. Maybe they are for a second until you get to know each other. So it's always good to have like a baseline of sort of friendship. And going into those scenes, I think it's helpful if you have like a nice thing going back and forth so that you don't take anything like take offense at anything. You know, it's you don't know how people react to things. So like maybe something I said could trigger something in her. But as long as we're friends outside of it, then like or like at least friendly, and have that chemistry there, then on screen like maybe we could take it a little bit further and like she could feel a little bit more of that and I could give a little bit more of the meanness, and there's no stakes in the end because we're just playing. But
Yeah.
maybe if I was mean, if I would say I was like so standoffish and then I did the scene and I was so standoffish and mean, and she might be like, what? And then it might not be as interesting because you're not allowing yourself to play. You're not playing in a safe space. You're playing in a space where you're like, wait a second, are you serious? Like, what's going on? So you just, I think being friendly, creating a safe space outside of the work makes it maybe a little bit more interesting because then you can play more. Yeah.
Yeah, Mile High is like one of my favorite role of villain roles of yours.
Yeah.
Simply because you have such good lines in that.
I have fun lines in that one.
Mhm.
They're so
And
funny too.
it's so good, and I'm just sitting there, and then you and your little minions, like you have two other
Love
minions, and
those
then it's sort
girlies.
yes, and then it's just so funny, and then here's sweet little Hannah just like doing her scenes and just like Aubrey, and I'm just like, oh, this is such a good vertical. I love when
Yeah.
the villains get to be mean, but not overly like.
It was dimensional, and that I really wanted that one because the writing was so much better than a lot of them. So I was like, I want this to be dimensional. I want her to have layers. And we talked with that one specifically, we talked about that she grew up really, really insecure. And she potentially was bullied. I mean, I made a choice that she was bullied at one point, and then
Mhm.
she just started to retaliate. And that she retaliated to the point that everything needs to be perfect for her. And if things aren't perfect and things aren't the way that she wants them to be, then she's going to crumble. So she cannot let that happen. And so every scene was an attempt to not crumble. Like even when I'm throwing the pot, I'm like, you're in control. And this is just, okay, I have a momentary, okay, fine, but I'm leaving now. And I'm letting this go because I can't let my insecurity destroy me like it did in the past. And that was so much more interesting. I was like, that's so much more fun. And like the way that the three, like the Mean Girls kind of like literally the movie Mean Girls kind of vibe of the three of us, that was fun.
Yes. And I love when I see the actor, like the actresses who play villains. I love when the villain has, like, you have an understanding of why the villain is the way she is. And it's not just like, oh my gosh, she's a villain, like, hate her. Like it's more of an understanding of the villain character,
Yeah.
which is makes the first of all, it makes the story so much better.
Right.
And two, I think it helps the actresses because then you don't have a Gago fans who are like, oh my god, I hate her for such and such,
Right.
versus, oh, this is a character she's playing. Like this is
Yeah.
an actual character. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, next question. What makes a good scene partner? Which we kind of talked about this a little bit.
Someone who comes prepared to like work, someone who comes to the scene like, let's just bounce off each other and let's just work with that. And so, at first, like I forget who it was, when I had a scene partner, I was like, I had had so many scene partners before that like didn't really care about, they didn't care that they were there and they were like, whatever. And so I kind of was getting like closed off in my little shell. And then I had one scene partner that was like, yeah, let's just like bounce off. And I'm like, oh, wait, you're okay? Like we can play here? Like that's fine. It's like, yeah, so the reassurance of your scene partner to make it okay that we can make choices together and it's okay and like we can mess up in front of each other and it's not like a big deal and you don't hold it against the other person, and that's again, that safe space is so important in acting, so important in any space, in the theater, in film, and wherever you're at. You need that in order to operate at your like highest capacity.
I relate to that so much as somebody who's like diagnosed autistic. I relate to that so much. Having that safe space where you can have commentary, where you can have people be like, "Hey, I know you're not intentionally saying XYZ. You're
Right.
trying to communicate." Um, that is something that I look forward wherever I go. And when I don't find it, it's harder for me to communicate. And so I pull back and I
Yeah,
hide and I
absolutely.
crouch down. And then
Yeah.
I get into these like exclamation modes of like pointing facts out because I'm like, hey guys, this is what's happening. Like, can you see this? Like, I'm trying to explain this
Hmm.
because I don't feel like I have that safe space to just
Yeah.
be open. So I relate to that a whole lot.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly important, even in real life. I mean, anytime I'm like talking to someone or like I want them to feel like you can tell me things because I'm not gonna judge you. I'm just gonna listen. But that also just might be my personality. I don't know. I mean, not everyone approaches things the same way, but I just think that that's the best way to do it.
Well,
Open
you're
them.
honestly one of the people I like because of that.
Oh,
I like people who are down to earth and just themselves.
yeah,
And you can tell when people are like putting up a front or a barrier
yeah,
versus when they're just being like, "Oh, okay. I'm just going to be normal with you and I'm just going
yeah.
to yeah, I love that about you."
Oh, thank you.
What has been your favorite vertical role so far?
Um, Favorite one. I really like doing the Mile High one. That was a really fun villain. I think that the script was was really fun. And I like doing the doctor one that I did with the Miracle Doctor one. Like not every day on the set was like my best experience, and I had some emotional turmoil during that week. I found my way back, but that was fun just because of all the medical stuff. I was like, this is so fun because my parents are doctors, nurses. Like, I was like, they're so proud of me. And I was like throwing in like, I was trying to throw in different words and stuff so I could like sound like more of a doctory, like I was in the know. And so that was really fun. So those are like two of my favorite, I think. One lead, one supporting.
I really like that one because I just like Nick's work, like watching his work.
Yeah.
He's such a good like male co-star in my opinion
Yeah.
of the leads because he's like, okay, this is a lead here. Just give her the energy, the exposure, that
He
type of
was
stuff.
very much like, and everyone was like, good job, Nick. And like, people weren't like saying it as much to me some days because I don't know, whatever, for whatever reason, he's very enigmatic on set. And I think people are like drawn to that. And so he was like, no, Jess, you're, no, it's you. You're doing great. I was like, Thank you so much. Yeah, he was very nice.
Yeah, Nick's, you can tell it in his work because
Yeah.
anything you watch with him, he's very much like, this is my lead. Here they are. Like, even when he was playing the villain, he played one villain role,
Yeah.
and his villain wasn't as mean as they
Okay.
normally are.
Yeah.
And like you could even tell as the villain, he was still trying to like, this is my lead, this is what it is, that
Yeah.
type of
Nice.
stuff. So I love his work. What is usually for me, this is like one of the funner questions. What is usually kept in your vertical set bag?
Little set like shorts. Now I put them all the time. I get little shorts. I can put it on under any costume because sometimes I'll just wear my regular like underwear or whatever, and I'm like, I need to put something on under here because I'm wearing these dresses. Like they might come up, especially villains. Like I'm wearing skirts real short. Like let's put some protection on underneath there. Let's put some shorts on. So now I have shorts. I bring them all the time. Now I have a couple of different pairs. I've stolen some from set that fit me. I did. I did. Don't tell. They're like, where are they? Yeah. So I have like a couple.
Um, is that like okay, so how is that like being on set? Because I saw one of the vertical actresses, one of the leads,
Yeah.
she does leads and villains, and I saw her post a video where she's like literally changing out of the wedding gown on set, and she's got like all these people around her.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, how is that for you guys? Like, how's that process of being on set and then you have to switch real quick and like, or you're like, because I see so other things. Like, I'm like, okay, here's this group having fun on set, and of course, in between takes, and then here's this group like posting about change. Like, so how is that like a process for you? Like, do you see it differently? Do you experience it differently? Do you not have those like same um situations?
Like quick changes, you mean?
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, I guess I can relate it mostly. I on set, I'm not changing like that often. Usually like for any of the roles, like I haven't really had the chance to do like a ton of quick changes. They're usually like, okay, you go into like you go back to the green room or whatever, and then you go to the bathroom and you change and you have some time, and they're yelling at you, we have only 5 minutes, or like we need more than 5 minutes. But I haven't really experienced like having to change on set. I mean, in my like intimacy scenes, like whatever, you have to like undress in front of a couple people, sort of. Um, but yeah, it's usually pretty chill. I'm from like theater. Like I did theater for so long, so like changing in front of people has just never really been a thing. But I have to remember that I'm in the room with people that they're not comfortable with that. And so I'm like, sometimes I start changing. I'm like, I should probably go into the bathroom and change instead of like doing it in front of everyone. Like, cause like I'm wearing like my bra or like in my shorts underneath, whatever. And I think that's fine because I'm like, well, people go to the beach and like nothing, right? So like, why is it a big deal? But and then I look around the room, they're like, so I changed in the bathroom, I guess. Yeah, but I haven't really had any experiences where it's been like you were saying, like a wedding dress I have to take off or something. I've never done anything like that.
Yeah, I think about that too, and I think about that as like the smexy scenes. I'm like, okay, they're in lingerie, cool, but like people go to the beach in their bathing suit, like it's not any different, but
Yeah,
it is because.
right.
And then there's scenes you see where they try to make it smexy, and then you see you guys like the men will have shorts, and you'll be like,
No, like
okay.
you have like, oh, you're topless. Even in like the descriptions of these scenes is so funny. But like you're like topless, but you literally just have a shirt on that you took the straps off and you put the thing on. Like everyone knows that it's not real. It's so funny. I mean, some people I've heard that some girls on set like they really don't care. Like they'll wear the lingerie around. Like during lunch, they're like, don't change, whatever. So it's really like personal preference. I mean, I think for everyone else's sake, I feel like I'll just put something on over like change or whatever. But I'm really fine with it because we're all human bodies in a room and we're putting together this performance. Like, if there's creepy people in the room, maybe like they're over sexualizing you, but most likely it's everyone's just like whatever.
Mm.
Kind of like in the theater, like everyone's whatever.
What's one thing we as the audience would be surprised about when it comes to the vertical sets?
How fast everything is filmed. Like, you get no time. And most sets, I mean, maybe it's not surprising, but it's like when you're there in it. So think about this. Feature films film like 5 to 6 pages in a day. You know this. We film 15 to 20 in a day. And yeah, I mean, the dialogue is like, right? Like the dialogue goes like blah, 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 right? But you gotta capture all of it. So, like, yeah, you have a scene where no one really says anything, but you have 10 people in the scene. So you have to film coverage on every person, and there's different ways that people do it. And some actors get upset with certain ways that you film, and I do too. Like, sometimes I'm like, I don't understand, why are we doing the full scene over for just one person's one line coverage? Like, why are we doing the full thing? We should just pick up like a snippet of that. um I think it'd be also fascinating, like how different it is for different directors to take this, like a similar scene, and film it differently. Like, again, some directors like want to film the whole thing. We're going to film the whole thing. We're going to run through a whole rehearsal of like 10 pages, 12 pages of dialogue. And you're like, oh, okay. Even though they're chopped up in sections anyway, but we're going to rehearse the whole thing, and everyone better be prepared, because we might run a whole wide of the entire scene, and you're like, oh God. Or some do it just in chunks, which is more like normal, I'd say. Like, you do in chunks. Like, that's how even my feature films that I've done, like, you do smaller pieces because it's easier for everyone to digest it and then get certain things. But yeah, I think just how quick it is.
I think for me personally, the one thing I'm always shocked by
Yeah.
is the crafty situation. Because I see so many people talk about craft.
Crafty.
The other one would be, I caught this in the vertical yesterday. I was watching it, and I don't remember the exact lines, but she was like talking about her pregnancy, and then there's a line afterwards, and I'm like, oh, they shot this first, and the guy goes, um, I didn't something about, I didn't know you were pregnant, or you aren't, or you're not, or pregnant, or something. And then the way he said it, I was like, oh, this was shot first, because she just talked to him about being pregnant, and like it's like he didn't
It
know.
doesn't match. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you're gonna, like, there's stuff that they do, and I'm just like, okay, first of all, I just know that when this was shot, and then there are verticals where you can absolutely 100%, they have so much dialogue, so much energy, so much everything. And you're like, yeah, they shot that in 5 days. I can just tell by how fast and how, like, it's like no breath.
Yep.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, they shot that in 5 days. I just know they did.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and it's not in you guys. That's the
No.
biggest thing that I like to talk about, is because it's not the actors or actresses. It's either the story or the way it was shot that drives me utterly insane sometimes, because I'm like, you could have made this so much better with just this little piece of information or this little piece of
Yes,
information.
I come up against that all the time. Like, this could be good if the writers spent like maybe an hour looking this up and applying it. This would make it 10 times better. Like, the whole thing would be 10 times better. But because the whole process of verticals is very fast, and it's meant for quick consumption either way, like on the other end, you're not really meant to sit with it and be like, huh. Like, that's not their intention, at least. I mean, you could, of course, but like, it's not the intention of the producers. They want to put as much stuff out there because they're hoping for maybe one be a hit, or two will be a hit, like for every 100 or 200 that they put out. So everything needs to be like, because you don't know when the hit's going to happen. And it's insanely fast. I kind of want to be on a short film set to just experience, like, maybe we have a little bit more time to do things, or a feature or something.
Well, see, the thing for me is, as a Vertical fan, the ones I'm gonna want to talk about more are the ones with the quality,
Yeah,
are the ones that I'm gonna want to rave about more.
right.
And I've seen this with Verticals where like the same plots, the same exact story, and I've seen 3 or 4 from the same app,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, this was the best one. Why
Yeah.
couldn't you replicate this? Why
Hmm.
couldn't this be carried over? And it's just so insane because I'm like, yeah, I love fast consumption like everybody else. That's why my reviews are so short because I know how fast people gotta
Yeah,
catch on
people's
to stuff.
attention spans, like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I want quality. I just don't want
Yeah,
to be watching this for the sake of that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And sorry if that comes off a little rough.
It
I
doesn't come
always try.
off rough at all. There's different production companies that I think do a better job at that than others. And that's just a fact. And it's okay because you can always improve. Like, and
Yep.
if you don't know what you're doing is not great, then you don't know that you can improve. And I think it's also definitely on the viewers to be like, hey, I'm not going to watch the one that's done in like 3 days and you do 40 pages a day. Like, I'm not going to watch it because it's not interesting to me. And that's
Yeah.
important because they're going off of what you guys say. They're going
Hmm.
off of, because you're the ones with the money. I mean, that's what's getting them paid. So yeah, I think it's really important for reviewers and stuff to speak up because that's the only way things are going to get better.
I think for me, at least, there are a lot of them I don't like. So I have different review processes. There's ones that I watched 100, like a while back, and I'm just like, um, okay, so this is one that's a favorite. I just was not reviewing at that time,
Yeah,
so I haven't talked about it.
yeah.
And then there are ones where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna watch this because everybody's talking about it, but then I don't review it because if I get into that space where I'm reviewing verticals that I'm like, I don't like, and I try to do it in such a critical way,
Hmm.
there's so much backlash over it.
I think, yeah, it's so brave to say anything against like the norm or against
Hmm.
the mainstream. And also, you're probably right. I mean, I think about this with like the Wuthering Heights film.
Hmm.
Like, this is exactly it. It's okay to say that it's not Wuthering Heights. That's
Hmm.
okay to say that. You can say you liked certain things in it, but it's okay to say that, and you don't need to hate on the people like that's are saying that because it's true. It's objectively true.
Hmm.
It's not the Wuthering Heights book. Yeah, so I think I don't think there's anything wrong with saying stuff that's against what other people are saying. It's
Yeah,
okay to, yeah.
I'm like that, and I'm sorry to
No,
interrupt.
no, no, cool.
I'm like that with Bridgerton. Like,
Yeah.
there's certain things I read the books
Okay.
and I watched all of the seasons.
Hmm.
And like I feel like because they changed the showrunner last season,
Oh, did they?
there it's yes, it's such a different atmosphere
Yeah.
versus the quality you were used to getting. And so I'm very much like that with Bridgerton where I'm like, oh, I love Bridgerton. Like the show is good. It's just not the quality I would have
Absolutely.
I expected. And the sad thing is you gave me this quality in season 1 and season 2,
Hmm.
but season 3 switched up, which it was a completely different story. Like it was Penelope and Colin, but it's so different from the books.
Hmm.
Extremely different. And then you give me season 4 and like I'm like the first, and I talked about this in a video. I'm like the first episode is completely the ballroom episode. Like it does nothing outside of that.
I see.
And I'm like, this did not need to be the whole focus of the
Right.
first episode.
Yeah.
You could have had clips, this, that, and it's just it's frustrating sometimes because I'm like, I have to talk about the bad in the verticals because if I don't, it's not going to change.
Yeah.
But then there's such a fan backlash of the fact that, oh, you're talking bad about this vertical, so you must hate the people. No, I don't.
Yeah, that's so silly. That's so silly.
And
Because a
it's
show is
just
not just the actors. A show is like a lot of different people. Like at least 100 different people are touching that show. It's not like a
yeah,
play that was put on by like 5 people, and then you're watching it and you're like, oh, that was kind of bad. Because then you're directly saying, well, even then, someone wrote, or it would be like a comedy sketch that was written by these two actors, and you're saying, I didn't like it. In a way, I guess you could say that it's because you didn't like what they were saying, or you didn't like part of their personality that they brought out in the scene. But with these things, there's just so many hands in the pot that it's okay. It's okay to say something against it
and
if
I
you
think
don't
a
like
lot of
it.
it, yeah, and I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that the translation across the ocean is where the confusion comes. Like the
Yeah.
translation from what is popular in K-pop dramas or in telenovelas even versus what's okay like American translation,
I've been
you
saying
know?
that so many times. Like when you read the scripts, it's like it works in China, it doesn't work here because we have completely different ideas about so many things in like societally. Not that neither of them are good or bad, it's just different and it just doesn't translate as well. Like the whole heiress era, whatever, air of the thing. We don't have that here really. So like it's
Yeah.
kind of fun. If you're like doing a princess one, it's kind of fun because you're like, ooh, it's a princess. Like, and then you have to bring in some other country or whatever. But yeah, it just doesn't like, I don't know, heir to businesses. Even that, I'm like, heir to a business. It's like weird. It doesn't like 100% work. That's just one example, but
Yeah. I think the biggest example is that in a lot of Asian countries, people are used to the women being small, petite, tiny.
oh yeah,
And
that's a big
here in
one.
here in America, our women are just like because we have so much like Western European and like all of that blood
Yeah,
in us
and Eastern
that
European too. Yeah.
yes, yes, like the German, the Polish, the Croatian,
That's
like all of
me. I'm
those
like
stuff.
taller. I'm like, and they want, I feel like sometimes they put me in those like the mean girl because I'm like bigger. Like all the girls that I'm with, I'm like looking down at, and I'm only 5'6". Like I'm like
Mhm.
average, I'm average height. And yet, yeah. And I'm like, oh, hey girl. Nothing against the actresses. I mean, they're wonderful, but
Yeah.
it's very interesting. It's like, I'm not a big person. And then yet I'm considered like, oh, she's a big girl. Like,
Hmm.
what are you talking about?
Yes. My mom, it's so funny because it's the opposite. Like my mom was 5'2" and my dad is 6'1".
Yeah.
And so my mom was the short one. And so here in where we are in America, it's like, oh, she's short, she's petite. Like that's unusual for us. Like my mom had that small 6 foot size shoe.
Oh my
Like that
gosh.
was
Yeah.
unusual, you know? Like, and she loved it though because none of her girls could wear her shoes, her clothes,
Yeah,
anything.
but
Like
she's
we
like,
were
it's
too,
fine.
we were too tall and our feet were too big.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because then you think about the model industry here. And if you're not tall, you're not slanky, your shoes are not a size 10 at least, which I found this out about modeling, which is crazy to me. You're not able to do that industry
Yeah.
as well as other people are.
Yeah.
And then you look at verticals and you're like, oh my god, it's becoming so popular here and people are talking about it being mainstream and all of this, and you're like, but the thing that's not changing is the constant ridicule of the women
Hmm.
in the space, you know and I'm just like, no, like if they can act, they can do their job. Why?
I know.
Like, why do you worry about that? And it's so weird because I've been watching vertical since 2023,
Yeah.
and the vertical space, that's a long time.
That is a long time. That's like beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And so when in one of our big apps here in America, one that a lot of people subscribe to join is Real Short.
Right.
So when they first put out verticals, I remember a lot of the American women just being different sizes, different shapes, different looks, different hair color, different all of this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as focused on. And now that it's more popular, it's like a really big topic. And I'm just like, I want to go back to the days of when you guys were trying to reproduce quality with the people that were there and the people who are doing great jobs, and less of this trendy atmosphere that seems to be very commercialized,
I
basically.
also want to see different races. Can we not just have all white people? Like, sorry to be if that's but like, come on. Why is it's always, and even in the auditions, like they'll say any ethnicity, but they don't mean that because they don't cast that way. And it's
And
sad. And it's like, it's not, especially in America, it is not representative of our country at all.
exactly, and it's so ironic to me because I grew up in a part of the city where you walk down, your neighbors were different in that cultures, different, all of that.
Yeah.
Like you had Hispanic neighbors, you had African American neighbors, you had all of that. That is the norm for me.
That's
And
America, yeah.
yeah, and to not see that in verticals is another thing too. And there's a few, like a handful of actors who are Latino who have kind of wedged their way into this
Sure,
community.
yeah.
But we need more.
Yeah.
And I also want like Asian actors who like the American version of Asian actors,
Right.
because they do have Asian K-pop dramas.
Right.
But I want the more American version, you
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
And so like I want to mix of people. I want verticals like if you guys are doing, you did one with TJ and Kylie, you know, that vertical where
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
on
yeah.
Love Island and stuff. Like stuff like that could still have been mixed up and had different people in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, which would have been what it was trying to be.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
even on Love Island, Britain, like yeah, it's majority white people perhaps in the country, but like they still have diversity because they know that the audience is interested in all sorts of different people, and you know they want to see all sorts of hot people. They don't just want to see white people.
Yes, I 100% agree. And I think it's so sad because as a country, we have come a long way from the 90s when you had to be stick then.
But have you been seeing the trends now?
Yes. Hmm.
You see Emma Stone at that. I mean, her face looks beautiful, but she looks sick. She's so thin. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same way when I tell people, like, I show them a picture because they always look at me and they're like, oh, you're a curvy girl. You just don't understand. You don't know how to be healthy. And then their mouths drop when I show them a picture of me back when I was skinny.
mm-hmm.
And then I'm just like, but look at me. I look sick. I look like I'm unhealthy. I wasn't. I was 150 pounds, size 10,
Mm-hmm.
but I looked unhealthy.
Right.
And it's just insane. Like the how we travel back in some atmospheres where it's like the blonde hair, blue eyes, which is a historical thing across the board. And then the thinness. And we fought for so long to get out of that stereotype.
Yeah.
And it's making a comeback. And I'm just like, really? Really? Like, why is this impressive?
I know. And then why is it like brown hair lead, villain, blonde? What is with that? Can we mix it up? Redhead, brown hair, like, and then or it's just like the same. It's just like the same every time. It's so boring. Like mix it up, make it interesting.
And that's another thing I always try to pinpoint when I talk about the actors in general. I'm like, when I'm talking about, oh, I would love to see so and so in this,
Yeah.
you can cast these people as leads as well. Don't keep them just doing the villains.
Right.
because leads and villains give off different aspects, different experiences, and it's just going to improve their work so much better and make them more of a hot commodity
Mhm.
because you're trying to sell their verticals
Right.
or this or that. And I, as a fan personally, if you're doing Bigelow, oh, I'm going to Bigelow. If you're doing Drama Box, oh, I'm going to Drama Box. I'm watching for the quality in your work.
Right.
So that's where I'm headed to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying with one app for the sake of that app. No, I'm moving around because my favorite actor or actress is doing XYZ.
Yeah, exactly.
So who do you look up to? And this can be general, this is a general, this is not directed at verticals. Who do you look up to as an actor, director, writer?
Well, okay, so right now, well, for the last couple years, like, this is cliche because everyone says this. Margot Robbie, though, girl, she's so cool. I love her. But the actual, like, my actual answer for right now is Jessie Buckley. Did you see Hamnet?
No, but that name is familiar.
You need to see it. It's incredible. And she's winning like all the awards. She, in that film, transcends. Like, it's so utterly stunning. The stages, and I'm a big Shakespeare girl. I love Shakespeare. So, like, seeing that, this dramatization of Shakespeare's early life and her, oh my gosh, his wife, who's the Anne Hathaway character that Jessie Buckley plays. It needs to be shown. Everyone needs to see it. Like, it's an incredible. So I'm really like, I look up to her and her career, and she's not been at it for too long, like 10, 15 years. And she's just been able to do that with Chloe Zhao as a director. Like, it's incredible. So I think right now I'm really looking up to her. But overall, I love Margot Robbie, just like how fun she's, like, all these different roles she's been playing, and like she's producing as well. She has her own production company, and she makes really popular films, which I think is something to say. Like, she knows what the audience is looking for, even if there's critics. Like, she says in her interviews, like, I'm making it for the moviegoers and not the critics. I think that's really cool. And she's beautiful, and I'm like, I just admire her.
I loved Barbie that she
Yes,
did
yes,
with America Fiera. That
yes.
was so good. That was
She
so
also
good.
produced Promising Young Woman. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a great movie. It's by her production company, Lucky Chop. And it's a really good, it's Carey Mulligan's in it. It's the lead. Great. It's a good movie. It's a little traumatizing, but like, it's good.
Have you ever seen Emily Beckett? She did Arrow on WB,
I never saw
but
that show.
she also did a role where she was the first female wrestler,
Oh.
and it was so good. Like, you would think like, oh, it's wrestling, it's, but this was like in the 40s and 50s. And this role was spectacular, and you're like just sitting there watching this. I'll have to send you the movie. But she played the first female wrestler to like ever exist, and like this woman was like building her chops up in the rings, but out at like carnivals and festivals and stuff like that. And she was so good in it. It was so fabulous. And the way it was shot, it was just so well done. In the cinema aspect, it was amazing. I also have to say, like, for me, I think actress that I really look up to would be David Tennant, who played in
Yeah.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, he's good. Do you see his Hamlet?
hmm I've seen him in not Casablanca. What is that? I always get it mixed up. I can't. I it's I'll send it to you. I know
Yeah.
which one I'm talking about. He is such a diverse actor with his
He's incredible.
skills.
Yes.
Oh my god! And his wife Georgia.
Oh,
Ooh,
I don't know.
yes, Georgia Tennant. Her father. I love their story. Okay, so her father played the Fifth Doctor.
Okay.
She came in. It's a weird story. It's so vertical. She came in to play this role, Jenny.
Uh-huh.
Jenny is the genetic daughter of the doctor.
Yeah.
David was playing the doctor at the time. So she technically played his daughter. So he they take his DNA, make her and clone make a clone essentially
Yeah.
of his DNA, and it's the royal Jenny. And so David and Georgia met on the set of Doctor Who, but her father also played the doctor, and then she married David years later, and he played the doctor. And their son Ty Tennant has acted too. He's been in some phenomenal roles.
Oh wow.
But I love their acting story, but they're so cute. They have like a hilarious like British skit with Martin Sheen. Um
Cute.
not Martin Sheen. Oh, Michael. Michael. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, yeah.
From yeah, Michael and his wife. That it's like just this bit show that they go back and forth and they talk about roles and they talk about who's the better actor and all of this. And him and Michael
Oh
also did the
yes.
Angel show. Yes,
Yeah, that's fun. He's great. He's so fun.
I absolutely love David Tennant. There's a joke because as the doctor, he played this role where he talks about the prime minister,
Hmm.
and he's like, "I have 3 words that will end her. She looks a little tired," essentially. And everybody always jokes like, "Why can't he say those words?" And it's such a running joke
Yeah.
because of so much other stuff. I have to tell. I don't want to talk about it here, but yeah, it's a good joke. It's a good joke. What's the funniest person you worked with on set?
Funniest person. Um, I don't know. Every set I've been on, there's always someone funny. Sometimes it's someone from like the crew. Like usually it is. Like, oh my God. Scratch all that. Caleb Wagner, costume designer. Love him. I've worked with him twice, and then we go out all the time. We get drinks and whatever. Oh my gosh. We just get each other. Like his humor is so like dry humor. And that's my favorite type of humor. It's so funny and sarcastic, and I love it. And I think that yeah, he's the funniest person, I'd say.
I have a very dry humor because I watched British comedies growing up, and like people never get my humor. They think I'm so
I
serious, and
love
I'm always
it. I
like,
know. I'm like, no, and then I do it and I'm like, no, I'm kidding. And they're like, oh. Okay, but
yeah,
no, we might have to make a part two of this because I have to submit an audition and also have to get over to that meeting at 4.
yeah,
So just in like a little, yeah. And then we can do a part two or
yeah.
something.
Who's the funniest person? Oh no, what do you do when you're not working on a vertical?
Oh my gosh. Depends on how I'm feeling that day. Like if I'm in a good mood, then I will go like go out of the house and with my boyfriend we'll do something fun. Like I love going to theme parks. I love Disney. I love Universal. Universal's so close because we live in Hollywood, so it's like we go there. I love going like to cute little dinners or getting drinks somewhere. I love going to Los Feliz to get Maru matcha. Love that place. Or I also do. I've been doing like for the past like 2 months. I've been like nannying this family. So like I do that like on the side. I sometimes I'm like I don't know, but about like the whole nannying thing for me. But then other times I'm like, oh, it's kind of fun. So I'll do that. Yeah, that's kind of like I don't do much else. Like I hang out with like friends here and there, and yeah. Oh, and yeah, we go camping a lot too.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Lots of fun.
Um, I have 8 questions left, so I'm gonna try to
Okay,
hurry
well,
through.
let's do it quick.
If you have a magic wand, what type of vertical would you want to do?
A spy. I want to do a spy one, and I want to be the spy girl and be like, like Charlie's Angels. I want to do that.
James Bond, Bond verticals would be like so epic.
Oh my
Like I'm like,
God.
how have you not taken advantage of the
I
Bond?
have no idea. Like my dream is to do a Mission Impossible movie. I know they're over. Well, let's see. But that was my dream. So like doing a vertical like that would be so fun and campy too. Like, Oh my gosh, I love it. But it'd have to be like a Charlie's Angels like comedy. Like that's what I would
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Tim Stein did one. He did one
Oh
like
really?
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh
Yes.
cute. Oh, that's fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I'm
no.
like, why wasn't this reproduced? It was so good.
Nice. I'll be in that.
Which which character have you played or seen that you love the most?
Um character player scene I love the most. Like in general ever? Or in
Mhm.
verticals?
In general. It can be in
I
general.
I played well I did in high school I played Lady Macbeth. Come on. I mean, I was too young to play it, but like that was awesome. So I loved her. She's so cool.
Without giving anything away, what's your favorite line of dialogue you've ever delivered?
Oh my gosh, I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh my goodness, what could it be? Probably from Lady Macbeth, and she's like, "Out, damn spot, out." That whole line. Love that. I didn't do it with a British accent, but like that was fun.
Besides yourself, which actor you believe is going to blow people away?
I hate to be this because it feels like so bad, but my boyfriend. I think like he is just so good, and he's Elijah Davis. He he just really like I think he just deserves more recognition and like more roles coming his way because like every time he just has such subtlety and like such love for the art of
He's
the
done
craft
verticals,
and
right?
everything. Yeah, yeah, he's done a couple like and he did one that he was like the fun like motorcycle bad boy and it was called Bad Biker was what it was called. He was so like you should watch it. Jessica Jacoby's in it. She's the lead girl in it. Um, yeah, it's good and he's really good in it. And yeah, I just think I think he's just gonna like start shining soon.
I think I watched one of his the other day where he
Oh,
was
nice.
like the villain or
Yeah,
something.
he plays a lot of the villain ones. Yeah, but
Yeah,
Bad Biker when he's playing the lead.
I posted it on my IG.
Oh, okay, nice.
So
I'll
yeah,
check
the
it out.
review for yeah. What's on top of your bucket list?
Right now, I want to see all of the national parks in America. Yeah, I really want to go to Zion right now. Like that's Zion just seems so beautiful, and I really want to see it. And going to Grand Teton, and I also want to do opal mining in Grand Teton because I saw a Great American Gay Side Quest. It's on TikTok, and he went opal
Mhm.
mining. Have you seen it? No,
No.
he went opal mining in Wyoming, and it looked so fun.
We have a big thing here where I'm at where you can go, I forget what it's called, but it's like this thing and you can go explore this big old whale and like
Really?
yes, everybody talks about it and I'm like I kind of want to go do that.
That sounds so fun. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
That'd be so fun.
I'll send it to you cuz I can never remember names or anything.
No, it's okay.
What what's your favorite kind of weather?
Warm, humid. I grew up in South Florida, so just put me on the beach in the sun with the humidity. I mean, it can't be like 95 plus. That's too hot. But like in that 80s range, oh wow. And it's warm and you go into that water and it's warm. Oh my gosh, it's heaven.
I always laugh about that because where I'm at they call us the Midwest Florida.
Oh, really?
Because yeah, and like everybody here travels to Florida, and then we'll go down there for like winter time, and like we're running around in shorts because you guys are your weather is different than us,
Yeah.
and everybody's like, "Oh my God, aren't you cold? You're in shorts." Uh, we're from the Midwest, can't you
Yep.
tell?
No, I'm like when it's 60 there, I'm like, or 60 here even, I'm like, it's frigid. It's so cold. I'm shaking. And it's cold here. I thought California was warm, but it's really not. It's not like
Is
Florida.
California like is the temperatures different from
Yeah, because it's
Florida?
like, well, it's like this. Florida's down here and California's up here. So like it's very different. I mean, people say it's so warm here. it just I'm from like a subtropical kind of area, so like it's not as warm. It's like think of Mexico weather. That's where I'm from. So like it's very different temperatures. Like even that 20 degrees is a big difference. Like our lows don't really get that low. I mean, they have been for like I don't know, we had a storm come through, but mostly like the lows that you're going to get are 60s, like low 60s is the lowest.
So it's like 60 in Cali cooler than 60 in Florida.
I would say yes, it is. Because I think it's because it's dry, but maybe I'm wrong about that. But it feels colder here than it does back home. Because I think the humidity kind of traps a little bit more heat or something. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But it does feel like colder here in general. And it's so dry and your skin gets cracked. And I'm like, oh, it's so freaking cold.
Yeah, so for us here, like where I'm at, we're in the Midwest. It's like, so in the wintertime, 50 degrees is warm weather.
Yeah.
And then in the summertime, that's like, oh, you're cold, you're bundled up, you're like,
Yeah.
so it's like so weird and so different because you'll see people come wintertime, oh, it's 50 degrees, I don't need a jacket,
That's
let me put on a
crazy.
sweater and run. And then summertime, oh my God, it's 50 degrees, I need a jacket.
That's true. No, it's true. Like if the temperature fluctuation does matter. So if it's like really hot one day in Florida and then all of a sudden it's 60, yeah, that's freezing. That would be colder than like a 10-degree difference here. But I think overall, I'm colder here than I ever was back home.
That's another thing that I was talking about. It also comes down to weight size. Because I noticed that when I was skinnier,
Yeah.
I was always cold.
Yeah.
I always had to have a sweater. Now that I'm just like a little bit more curvier,
Yeah.
I'm like not as cold
Well, I mean, that
as
makes sense. Insulation, like,
yeah.
yeah.
And plus autistic people too have a hard time regulating their body temperature. So like for you it could be like nice warm weather. For me, I could be like, oh, I'm drowning in sweat, just hot. Like
Oh,
it's insane.
interesting. Okay. Because usually I'm
Hmm.
like just so cold. Sometimes my fingers turn white. Like I get so cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
What types of books do you like to read?
Mm. So I have not been a good reader, honestly, but I really, in the past, like I love classics. So I wanted to restart Pride and Prejudice again, just because I'm thinking about that movie and I'm like, I really just want to read that book again because I love classics. I love, like, I was just reading for Fahrenheit 451, but I kind of stopped reading that a little bit ago. But yeah, I like that. Or acting books. I like reading acting books too.
Mine's Little Women. I have such a connection to that book. I love
Yeah.
that book, but that is like my classic that I go to Little Women. And I just love Josephine. Like I love not Josephine. Louisa May Alcott. I love her writing. I love her writing. Describe your perfect day. So this is going to be the final question, everyone.
Okay. I get up not too early, but not too late because if I get up too late, then I feel groggy. So maybe like 8:30. And then I get up and I do nothing for a little bit, and then I can go to my like Pilates class or whatever, and then I get so classic LA white girl. Would love to do my matcha from Maru Coffee, and then maybe go to like Disney World or Disneyland, I mean, um, with my boyfriend, and then we come back and maybe we like make dinner at home and have like a bottle of wine and watch a movie.
Yeah, I love Disneyland. I'm so obsessed with the history of that place
So fun.
and the fact that it was the original studios before it was ever a theme park. The history is so iconic.
So cool.
And then so as an actor, I know one last question, but
Yeah.
I got curious about this. As an actress, how does that work for you? Like when you're acting, does it drive you nuts that you have to get up at like 5 a.m. or 5:30 for a shoot and then run off to set?
Um, I mean, honestly, yeah. But I'm doing what I love, so like I can't complain. But I hate waking up early. That's just me across the board. Plain thing, whatever, hate waking up early. Have to get up to do something, hate waking up early. And I'm notoriously late. So that on top of it doesn't help. Because I will wait until the very last second to get up. I think that's like there's something up with that. I don't know why I do that, but yeah. I always wait to the last second to do everything. I think it's like this perfectionism that I have. I'm like,
Yeah.
and I just delay and then I procrastinate, you know.
Yeah. I noticed this years ago in me. I wait to the last second because I don't want to be early. Because being early drives me nuts. And so whenever I'm early somewhere, I get very anxious and then I'm just like stemming and like moving around and like I can't sit still. So it drives me nuts. The other thing that throws me off, and this is kind of what I meant by the sleep pattern thing, is like if I have to be like, if I go to bed too late, that'll throw me off. I'll be like super annoying the next day.
Yeah.
Or if I have to wake up too early, then I'm just like, ugh, just a grump like all day.
Yeah.
And so that affects me too. I'm like, I got to get my 6 to 7 hours. If I do more than that, I'm a grump. If I do less than that, I'm a grump. And I can't function.
Yeah. Yeah. Sleep is so important.
So I'm like thinking about you guys who do like nighttime shoots or do like early morning hours. And I'm just like, more power to you guys because I honestly don't know how I could do that.
Yeah. It's such a weird schedule sometimes, but I've been lucky on most of my shoots. I haven't been able to, or haven't had to wake up like super early. So I've been pretty lucky with that.
Okay, well, I want to thank you for doing this. This will be posted everywhere, like on YouTube, and I'll post clips after I download it. But thank you so much. I had so much fun, and I would love to do this again with you. Have a great day.